Okay, so the Roblox Classic event ended today, so I'm going to be ranking every single game that was in the event, going from S tier all the way to F tier. So as you can see, I have all 15 games here as well as the lobby, so we're just going to start ranking them. So we're going to start with the lobby because that is like the main thing of the event, and I'm going to put it in S tier because there was just so much to do in the lobby. It just had so much stuff in it. It had all of the quests, it had a ton of like Easter eggs and stuff. Like the event could have just been the lobby and that would have been awesome. Like there was just so much to do in there. You had quests, Easter eggs, obbies, you were able to play with like the items, and then they also had like the boss fight that came out, and then they had so much other stuff. So it's just, yeah, we're gonna put it in S tier. Next up, we're gonna go for, let's do Arsenal. So this one I'm also gonna put it in S tier because it was extremely fun. It was one of my favorite games in the entire event again. Just like in the hunt, they did it insane with all of their stuff, so I'm gonna put it in S tier because this game did take like 40-50 minutes to do. But I was having fun the entire time, so I'm going to put it in S tier because it's really hard to be able to make a game that lasts so long and you have to repeat it multiple times and still make it really fun throughout the entire time. And they also did have multiplayer, which is something that most games actually did not have. You had to do them alone. Next up, let's do Blade Ball. Okay, so this one's going to be like the first really bad one. We're going to put it in F tier because in this game it was just so annoying because the first tasks, they were pretty easy, like because they had the exact same thing as the hunt, but this time you just had like the same tasks, and once you did them, they're pretty easy. So you did them, and then the game was like, congratulations, do it again, and then they're like 5 times harder. So you did it, the game said congratulations, do it again, and they're like 10 times harder. So you did it again, the game told you to do it again, and you just had to keep repeating the quest over and over and over again. You had to do it like 5-10 times, which each one getting like 5 or 10 times harder, and you had to spend like 4 hours straight in the game just actively playing just to get this done. So yeah, I'm gonna put it in F tier. Next up, we'll do Adopt Me. I didn't really do this one myself because it was just too boring for me, but from what I've seen, it was pretty boring, and this one it took like an hour to do. So basically you just got like a basket or something, and you just had to level it up until like max age or something. And it seems pretty simple, but you would just have to be doing like tasks every now and then. Like you wouldn't be able to constantly just do it to finish it easily. You had to be waiting there, like you had to sit there waiting for your pet to want something, and then you have to go do that, and then once you did, you have to go AFK again, wait for it to want something, and you just keep doing that. Like it would take a few minutes until it just said that it wanted something. So yeah, most of the time that you were doing this, you were just AFK, so there wasn't really a point of anything in here. So that's why I'm gonna leave it in F tier. But it is slightly better than Blade Ball. Actually, Blade Ball would be in like B or C, maybe even A if the tasks weren't repetitive, because like the boss fight, that was actually really cool, but you had to do it like 100 times, which got really repetitive, so that's why it's in F tier. Next up, A Dusty Trip. Okay, this one was pretty fun and easy. It was like a whole new map, and then you had to get to 10,000 meters, you had to find tickets and collect coins around the map, and every like 2,000 meters you would have to do like a certain challenge, like a mini boss fight or something, and once you completed it, you would get a row coin. And then you would also be looking for ticks around the map, which was pretty fun. So I'm gonna put this in A tier. This was again a really fun quest in the game. You don't know, put it in S tier because this again was one of my favorite games in the entire event. Not better than Arsenal or the lobby though. But yeah, this was a really fun quest. Okay, next up, Bedwars. Okay, so this was basically the penguin LTM going back a 3rd time, but this time we had to survive classic penguins. It was fun, but also really hard. Like you would have to be surviving hundreds of penguins, and since most of the people in the game were just playing for the event, most of the players weren't even good at the game. They were just like low 1 players, not really knowing what to do. They just wanted to get the quest done, and this definitely was not new player friendly, so I'll put it in C tier because personally I wasn't able to get to wave 10. I got to wave 8 or 9 and I wasn't able to beat it, and that's with me being like an experienced Bedwars player. So imagine for new players, they couldn't even get past wave 2 or something. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it in C tier. Okay, next up, Beeswarm Simulator. So this game, it was pretty fun. You had to find ticks around the map, like in the lobby, and there was like a portal at the spawn. So you go into the portal, it takes you to like another lobby thing. You can find some more ticks in there, and then you get a few friends and you go into a game. It was like a survival type thing, and personally I thought it was gonna be like Plants vs Zombies or something, and I really liked it. So I'm gonna put this game also in S tier, just slightly over A Dusty Trip. because I actually did end up beating this one and it was really fun. I ended up going for endless mode after that and I went on for a pretty long time. So yeah, that's why it's gonna be an S tier for me. Okay, next up we're gonna go for Clip It. So this game we're gonna put it in, I don't know, but basically what you had to do for this game is you had to go around different maps in the game and you would be finding ticks and different characters around the maps. You had to find 5 characters, take videos with them, and you had to find 10 ticks around different maps. And it was kind of fun, but after a little bit it got very repetitive and boring. It took me like 20-30 minutes to do and I didn't really have the best time playing it. So for that we're gonna put it in B tier. No, put it in C tier, like right above Bedwars. But yeah, I didn't really enjoy it too much. Okay, next up, Dragon Adventures. Okay, so this game you just had to go around different maps, again 5 maps, and each map would have 2 ticks eggs. So you would be finding both of those eggs, you would hatch them, and you would get 2 tickets. And then after that you have to be finding other classic eggs around the different maps. And basically you would just be collecting eggs and opening them until a meteor spawned. Once that meteor spawned you had to break it and you would get a rogue coin out of it. And you had to do this like 5 times I think across 5 different maps, each one getting harder and harder. And personally I thought it was kind of fun. I would put it in like B or C. But it did have pay to win, which is gonna make me put it in D tier. You would be able to buy game passes to make it like a lot easier. And like the egg radar for example, it will just show you exactly where all of the eggs are. So yeah, because of that I'm gonna be putting it in D tier. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this earlier, but Blade Ball actually had a thing where you could just instantly buy all of the rogue coins and tickets. Like for 700 Robux you just instantly beat it. So that is another reason to put it in F tier. Okay, next we have Dress to Impress. This is a fairly new game. It was in the Hunt and it's also in the Roblox Classic. I'm pretty sure this game came out this year, I'm not too sure. But it was pretty simple and pretty fun. Basically you would find 10 ticks around the lobby and it wasn't a big lobby, it was pretty easy. You could get that done in like under a minute if you really wanted to. And then after that you can also find an obby in the lobby. It was like a classic Roblox obby style thing. And to me it was pretty fun, so I'm gonna put it in A tier. It wasn't the best compared to like these games, but it was still really good and really easy, so I'm gonna leave it in A tier. Next up, okay, Driving Empires. So this game was fun. Like once I joined the game it looked really fun. It looked like we just had to do a few quests around a new map, which looked pretty insane, and you get custom rewards, custom cars, you would get the tickets, the rogue coins. And it seems pretty fun and easy. But then once you actually started doing the quests, you had to get a ton of points and the process to get points was very slow. But the game itself was really well made and really fun. Like you would be able to race Dale Bazooki, you would be able to get custom cars, you could do like taxi quests, you find the ticks around the map, and it seems pretty fun until you actually start racing and everything. Because you had to get I think 500 points, but those points took forever to get. You would only get like 15 points per race, which took like 2-3 minutes. And to get 500 points from that, it took so many races. It took like over 30 I think. So because of that, I'm gonna put it down in C tier. Oh wait, no, this game actually did have pay to win too. They sold a double points game pass, which made it a lot easier to do for pay to win players, but way more difficult for free to play players, and it made it pay to win too. So because of that, it's also gonna go in D tier. Okay, next up we have Gunfight Arena. So this game was actually really fun. They had like a classic thing. You would find ticks around the map, like just like every game. And then once you found the ticks, you would unlock different classic items. Like the rocket launcher for example, which is in the game icon. And I think it was really fun. I made a video on this game because it was one of my favorites. But I mean it was basically just kills, like you didn't really have anything else to do. It was basically the normal game just with new items and new maps. But I love shooter games and this one was really fun, so I'm gonna put this in B tier, the first B tier of the video. Okay, next up, Lopia. So basically in this game you had to work out of the store and you would just collect items for people. And after you got the items you would just deliver it to them just like an Uber Eats driver or something. And every 3 deliveries you would get 1 rogue coin and 2 ticks would spawn around the map. So you would collect those and then you would get your rogue coin as well as the ticket badges. And it seems pretty simple, but you had to do this so many times. I think it was like 15 times just to get all of the badges. And it just got so repetitive doing everything over and over again. So I'm gonna have to put this one in D tier as well, just like these games. Okay, I'm on my final 3 games. So the next game is gonna be Restaurant Tycoon 2. And again, there is another issue on this game, and you guys can probably guess what the issue was, seeing the pattern with all of these games. And yes, it was repetitive once again. So basically you would find 10 tickets around the map, like every single game, and those tickets would be hidden in like classic Roblox locations. Like we would have the Roblox HQ, we would have like the classic Roblox spawns, we have like the tower thingy, whatever it's called. But yeah, just a ton of classic Roblox locations. And getting the tickets were pretty fun, and they're pretty simple too. But once it came to getting the row coins, you would have to be feeding classic customers, and these customers would spawn occasionally, like not every single time, just occasionally. And in order to get all of the row coins, you had to feed 150 customers. Like not normal customers, but the classic ones. And this took forever. I didn't even get to finish this before the event ended, so I'm gonna have to put this down in... We're gonna put it in F tier actually, because this took forever, and especially for new players. And you weren't even supposed to do anything while doing this, you were just supposed to go AFK and that's it. Okay, the final two games, Toilet Tower Defense and Tower Defense Simulator. So, Toilet Tower Defense, this one wasn't like as bad as these, like really repetitive, but it was boring. I like tower defense games, like they're pretty fun to me, but this one, it was just very boring to me. Because I just slapped down a few towers and that was basically it. You just had to put down a few towers and you were done. And I thought this game was gonna be really cool with the leaked cutscene and stuff, but it turns out it wasn't. Like when I did this my first try, the cutscene didn't even play, like it was in the middle of playing and I just instantly won. Like the boss fight wasn't cool at all. But the tower game and the in-game quests weren't too hard or too time consuming. So it's a lot better than like these games, so it's definitely not gonna be in D or F. So I'm gonna put it at the end of the C tier. You know, we're gonna put Clip It in B tier because it was a lot better than like these. Okay, the final game, Tower Defense Simulator. Basically this was kind of the same thing as Toilet Tower Defense, but just a lot better. They had 5 new maps with preset towers, so it was very new player friendly and anybody could just play the game for the first time and get it done. Basically you just play on each map had like 10 to 12 waves, and each map had a different boss. Like the first map it had, I forgot what boss it was, but it was pretty simple. The second map it had the Roblox Deathwalker coming back. The third one also had Roblox Deathwalker, I think. And the 5th map had like 3 bosses, which was really fun. And this was like the perfect mix of easy and hard. And because of that, I'm gonna put it in, we'll put it at A tier, like right above these two. Actually, personally, I think it was slightly better than Arsenal. This one I think was my favorite game in the entire event. And just like these games, they didn't take too long, but they weren't too short. They weren't too easy, but they weren't too hard. Like, they were just perfect. And yeah, that's my ranking for every game in the Roblox event. And all of these rankings are just my opinion, so you can disagree if you want. But I think this is good. Anyways, yeah, that's about it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe. And let me know if I should do more tier lists in the comments. Anyways, I'll see you on the next video. So yeah, bye.